And welcome back into Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1, brought to you by the Illinois Fighting Illini. For tickets and information on the Illini, visit fightingillini.com or call 1-866-ILLINI-1. Once again, fightingillini.com or call 1-866-ILLINI-1 for tickets and information. But now, my favorite segment of the show, I can't even believe this right now, we're heading to the phone lines to talk with Illini Hoops columnist and basketball recruiting extraordinaire savant, boss, guru, good time Matty Gertz. Matt Gertsmeier, how are you? Matt, where are you at, man? We got him on the phone? Where's he at? He's a ghost. He's a ghost.
We're trying to figure out how to get Matt on. We'll just give you a little bit of a preface. The Illinois basketball team had quite a few... Matt, can you hear us?
Matt, are you there?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, there he is.
I just gave you the best intro ever, and we must have messed something up tech-wise. But once again, here he is, basketball extraordinaire guru, whatever I just called him a second ago. Good time, Matty Gertz. Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Little technical difficulties, but...
Are you doing good or are you doing well? Because unless you're clothing the naked and feeding the homeless, I can tell you that you are doing well. Anyway, let's jump into recruiting talk.
Not a journalism major, though.
Absolutely. Actually, just changed my major. But anyway, we're talking a lot of basketball hoops recruiting. A lot of stuff went down this weekend, and frankly, I don't know who was here. I know that you do, though, so why don't you talk us through what went down for Illini basketball this weekend?
Yeah, this was a big weekend for John Groce and his class of 2017. He had his commits, who consisted of Jeremiah Tilmon, Javon Pickett, and DeMonte Williams. And with them was the big man, 6'7", Chris Wilkes, who is the most sought-out recruit in this class of 2017. He's a 5-star, ranked number 18 or number 14 in the nation, depending on what site you use. This guy's a real deal. He was putting on a show at Oven during that little practice that was going on in the afternoon on Saturday. Just windmill dunks, straight athleticism. The guy's a real deal. And so Groce had them for the whole weekend, and I thought it was very unique, the weekend that he picked. The North Carolina game against Illinois football was just the most electric, most great, just one of the greatest atmospheres I've ever seen as an Illini fan, both basketball and football, no matter what type of sporting event. It was just a great situation to bring Wilkes to. And also the fact that he had 3 commits with him. They definitely looked like they were bonding towards the end of the night. They were joking around with each other, laughing. It was definitely a good call by Groce to bring the commits with, just to kind of show Wilkes what he would be working with if he was to commit. And I think it was a good weekend. It was a successful weekend, pardon me. And so, yeah, it's just going to take time, because I think Wilkes is going to take all of his visits that he's scheduled, and then he's going to make a decision.
Hey, Matt, it's Peter over here. How you doing?
Hey, PBW.
When you look at this recruiting class that Groce is putting together, is what's his pitch? He's got 3 of these guys already, but what's his pitch to Wilkes? Is it you can play with these guys? Is it you can play at State Farm Center? Is it you can play at Illinois? Is it you can play for me? If you were John Groce, I guess you don't have a direct line to John Groce, but if you were John Groce, what would be your pitch to Chris Wilkes?
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of good points. The fact that the class currently ranks number 3 in the nation is a great pitch to sell Wilkes. I think he knows that they currently have 4 commits. If he becomes the 5th, I think that's a scary freshman class, depending on who he redshirts and doesn't redshirt, and maybe who transfers and doesn't transfer. But that is a scary good freshman class. So that's a great pitch right there. The fact that they are number 3, Wilkes, I think, would definitely put them at number 1. It just is going to have to see how some of the other top 100 recruits play out. That's a good pitch right there. Another great pitch, I think, is the potential for Wilkes to go to the NBA. A lot of analysts and scouts are saying that he has what it takes to make it to that next level. And this weekend, what a great opportunity for Wilkes to interact with Myers Leonard. I'm not too sure if they were able to talk, but Myers Leonard was on campus, and that's a guy who just signed an extension with the Trailblazers. So it shows that the path to the NBA is achievable if you go with Illinois. It doesn't always seem that way. Just when you look at guys who go to Kentucky, UNC, Duke, those guys are prominent in the NBA. But doesn't mean that if you go to Illinois you can't make it there. I think that's another good pitch. I think the fact that there's been a ton of renovations with the State Farm Center, with just Illinois basketball program overall. I mean, last year they were they had a losing season and they still had 5 ESPN televised games. I think that's pretty darn good for a team that was below 500. So if you add Wilkes, you're still going to guarantee some nationally televised games and probably add more just because of the talent they're going to bring. So I think there's a lot of ways that Groce can use this, Wilkes to pitch him and recruit him, and I'm almost positive he had even better ways than what I mentioned too. So,
Matt, all the news that we're hearing about Wilkes seems pretty positive, but if things do not go Illinois' way when he decides to make his choice on his school, what other players are Illinois looking at, and who are they looking to fill the void of?
Yeah, so Wilkes is a small forward. He'd be a great replacement for Malcolm Hill. We're going to lose Malcolm this year with graduation. And we still have a few other guys who can play that small forward spot, but Chris Wilkes, I think, as a freshman, even he's a little undersized. I'd like to see him put on a little more body mass, get in the weight room, strengthen up a bit. But even as a freshman, I could see him playing some major minutes to fill that void. But this weekend, there's another visit happening. His name is Abu Kigab. He's a small forward as well, 6'7". So he still has a lot of size. Kigab ranked, I think, number 134 in the nation on 247sports.com. So he's solid, not as great as Wilkes, but I think he'd still be a solid addition. The biggest question with him, though, is he's from the West Coast, and a lot of analysts are saying it's Oregon all the way. He's pretty much locked. But there's a reason he made a visit with Illinois, so there's still a chance, I think. Can't overlook that. The other recruit that I've been looking into is Mayan Kerr. He is a power forward from Florida. I actually was able to speak with him a few weeks ago. I called him up and just kind of got his taste on how the recruitment process has been going for him. He said he hasn't any visits yet, although he's wanting to schedule an official visit with Illinois. And I think Mayan Kerr, he just cracked the top 100 on ESPN for the class of 2017. He's another big man, and I mean, frankly, Illinois can't get enough big men. They're pretty much undersized. They're losing Maverick Morgan, Mike Thorne, due to graduation this year. So if they could somehow maybe manage to scoop up Kerr as well, I think that'd be another great asset. But yeah, Wilkes is up in the air. Kigab is leaning towards Oregon. Kerr, I think Illinois is his best offer when looking at his schools. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out because there's only 2 spots left. There's been offers made. So right now it's just a matter of who accepts first and do those spots even get filled. If Groce doesn't choose to fill those spots or if no one accepts the offers, he's got to shift his attention to 2018 where he could fill those roster spots.
All right, Matt, I'll give you a doozy here to close things out. Give you a put you in Josh Whitman's shoes. If John Groce gets Wilkes, secures a top 5 recruiting class, but does not make the NCAA tournament with this year's team, does he keep his job? Yes or no?
I think Groce keeps his job. He's always been on the fence, I feel, especially these last couple of years, just because he's finally had the chance for his recruits to actually be on his roster and playing the bulk of the minutes. I still think he keeps his job just because of the fact that he's already made such an impact with the recruiting this year. And if you change the coaching up and fire him and put someone else in that role, there's a good chance that those guys are going to decommit and transfer to go somewhere else, and that's just a risk that right now Illinois can't take. I know he's been on the hot seat for a while, and I think why not just keep him for one more time? Let him. This has been one of the best recruiting classes I think that Illinois basketball scene has seen in a long time. So I think you have to at least give him a chance on this. I think Whitman is going to follow through with that just because he's already made a huge coaching move with Lovie Smith to the football program. If you fire Groce, I'm not too sure there's a replacement right now better than Groce. So it's almost just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's kind of looking like it might be broken soon. So it's a matter of Groce's class coming together for the class of 2017 and kind of putting on a show. And I think he stays even after if they miss the tournament this year.
Matt, great stuff as always. Thank you for taking the time to talk. We always appreciate a little good time Matty Gertz in our lives.
Hey, appreciate it, boys. Great show.
And, that was Matt Gertsmeier, basketball extraordinaire. But I think that wraps up today's show. So any parting words of wisdom from any of you?
I'm never going to make such a bold prediction for Illinois football ever again.
That's
Good
right.
idea.
I promised pre-show that I would gloat a little bit, and I'll keep it to a minimum, but
Oh, you were right, Peter. You're so smart.
only one of these three hosts.
You know so much about football.
Only one of the three hosts on this show is 2-0 this season with Illinois predictions.
That wraps up Illini Drive. For Peter Bailey Wells, Jeff Omer, Ryan Wilson, and Will Gerard, I'm Kevin McCarthy. If you missed anything at all from today's show, head to dailyillini.com. We'll have the whole thing podcasted for you in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for listening. I love the heck out of you guys. All of you who listen, you're wonderful people. So thank you so much for tuning in. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads, and the day after that, and for the rest of the week, frankly. It's always 6 o'clock right here on WPGU.